Welcome to another Quantum Conversation. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. Welcome, 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 beautiful hearts. Thank you so much for joining us. We are here in our channel panel week. And today we've got Peter Hansen, who is a channel of Archangel Gabriel. And the wisdom that comes through is pure of heart and so supportive for our times. Let's welcome Peter Hansen. Thank you for being here, Peter.
Thank you for having me, having us. It's such a pleasure. You know, there's so much going on right now. We just entered August today. So it's a big shift, just releasing July and taking a deep breath. And I kind of want to do that, you know, with all of you. If you want to close your eyes just for a split second, take a deep breath and just relax and feel into, you know, your body, your vessel, because it's been going through so, you know, immense shift and activations. And it continues to activate our light bodies to prepare us for what's next. And we are shifting from July into August. So that holds a lot of significance, but also we're coming into the Lion's Gate. We're coming into the rest of 2024 and so forth, you know. But really, it's like uniquely for us, wherever we are at, it's a shift in perspective as well. It's a shift in consciousness. It's a shift in priorities, what's important to us. Caring much more about our frequencies, not so much about the outside noise, because it's getting louder and louder if we allow it to. So really coming back in, and the breath is really helping with that. Taking a deep breath and bring your consciousness, your attention into your heart space. It's funny because I spoke to somebody earlier doing a hike today, and it was somebody I just met, and it was a really beautiful mother-daughter team, and they were asking a lot of questions about the mind, you know, the logical mind and the heart, how to, you know, navigate the two, and how we learn through our actions and through our decision making, you know, allow ourselves to allow our heart to guide us in the right direction, where it's effortless, where it's flowing and it's pure and it's creative and it's benefiting and it's supporting and honoring our light body, because it's in alignment with source, Christ consciousness, God frequencies, all of it working through us and being channeled through us as we becoming vessels, as we're starting to vibrate higher and higher and connect in unity consciousness. So nobody's left behind, nobody's here by accident. And I think that's important to kind of state here, because it might feel that way at certain junctions in our parts or phases of our journey, but those hard parts are creating foundation and giving us something to reflect upon, and it allows us to grow and prepare us for what's next. So nothing is happening by chance. It's really important to kind of let go of that mentality, of the victim mentality, of the linear time, the need to chase anything. It's really about being present right now, right here in this present moment, and allow the heart consciousness, allowing the unified field of consciousness, the light of all of us to connect. Because there's like two lights connect, it magnifies. Let's say 1,000 lights connects, then it becomes the collective shift that will benefit billions of people and assist with shifting the consciousness of the entire planet into the new earth, heaven on earth experience. And that is going to happen regardless if we are fighting it or if we are partaking in it. So might as well join the forces of light, you know, the expansion that's happening, the conscious breath, the pure heart consciousness that's coming in from all sides, surrounding us, but most importantly come out from within, because it was hidden in our DNA, which is now activating with these frequency activations, as we allowing higher parts of ourselves to come online, allowing higher parts to be seen and shared and felt through our frequency, through our voice, through our engagement, through our intention, through our frequency, most importantly. Take another breath on that. And then when you're ready, you can gently, slowly open your eyes. And I encourage everybody to, when you ask your questions today, you can ask anything, of course, but how can I do better? In other words, how can I assist myself the most is a good way of starting out. The light body, the taking responsibility, not being a passive product of some matrix or some program, but actually what can I do today on a daily basis, and moving forward, because everything is happening in the present moment. It's not happening tomorrow, it's not happening 2 weeks from now. It's actually what you do to now, what you vibrate today is paving the way for the next. So we're sending out a very strong signal, and I want everybody to allow themselves, for those parts of themselves, to not only shine but come through, because there's infinite versions of you, there's infinite versions of earth, of all realities. So allow ourselves to vibrationally connect with the one that's actually benefiting us, the one that's making us feel more expanded, better, and feels right, because that's our true voice that's then being expressed. And then we're not memorizing, we're not trying to fit in, we're not trying to please anyone. We're simply just allowing our divine blueprint to just be channeled through us and spoken through us and lived through us. And specifically with all these, like Tuesday, and there's been almost every day there's been a rise or a blast of solar activity or human resonance, which is all connected as well. And our body is reacting differently. It could be a sense and symptoms, it can be not able to function, it can be electronics not working, it can be somebody close to us or self physically hurting ourselves, not by choice, but simply a redirection of something trying to be communicated to us to become present. It's like, get out of your mind, get back in the present moment. So everything is not communicated by accident, and that's important to remember. And you're not in the wrong place at the wrong time. You're actually exactly where you're supposed to be at all times. So I know this sounds like a cliche, but it's really becoming so true now, because the divine script is coming online, the remembrance is coming online, all the parallel realities that we didn't remember, or other lifetimes, other incarnations, is also coming into our vibrational field, where we can start to tap into it and start remembering without fully knowing where it comes from, but allowing all those aspects to coming in line, allowing it to be shared, allowing it to be seen, allows us to then rise, allows us to come out of the spiritual closet, allows us to make better choices and not try to fit in, not trying to please anyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. The vibration that we are placed in now is it. It is us, and it is beautiful, and there's no worries. There's no thing to do, no thing to say. And so this perspective, it's almost as if we're seeing from a higher perspective in everything that happens to us.
Yes.
So based on this premise where we're seeing higher perspectives, let's talk about New Earth. And so questions for New Earth. What do we need to do vibrationally to bring forward New Earth? Can you share your insight on that?
Absolutely. Who's asking? Are you asking?
Yes.
Awesome. Do you have your permission to energy melt and connect with your higher self?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm just going to bring in the Legion of Angels. I'm asking them to remove any wandering spirits, anything that's not of the light, from your energy field from this session. from all timelines, all parallel realities, and all dimensions, is clearing the space, and gently and slowly energy melting with you, bringing in the archangels, and also connecting with your higher self. Just feel what's going on. There's a lot of root chakra activity I can feel, really anchoring in. So what do we have to do? And the answer is already starting to come in very strongly. It's planting seeds, but it's also like rooting ourselves into the present moment, into the present reality, and kind of taking inventory. There is going to be a organic cleansing happening automatically, but also the more we can partake. So this is to answer your question, is like the more you can partake in releasing any outdated belief systems, mostly, because that's what's holding the individual back in the frequency, or holding you back too in the mind, is the fear of what could happen. So instead of connecting with the fear-based realities or outcomes, then shift that into something that, what is the best possible outcome, or this or something better. It's really important to, because this is utilizing our divine powers that we forgot we had access to before, that we are conscious creators. So instead of just choosing from what the mind believe is possible outcomes, then really feel into what would that look like in the new earth. Because if you created new earth, and this is a divine script that you're just catching up with, it would be divine. So it would not create any kind of distortions or chaos like we are seeing in the collective right now. That's why that's being filtered out, because it does not fit into the higher template. So how can you do that for you in your box, so to speak, in your world, in your reality, where you're holding back, where you're not allowing love to flow freely through you, taking that kind of inner inventory, and reconnecting with that pure heart consciousness within you. Because if you created all of this, then you would make sure that you were taken care of. You would make sure that everybody was taken care of. So shifting our mindset into that kind of vibration, that kind of thought pattern is key. So that's the answer coming through. And it's also it's for you, but it's also for you to share. That's a very universal message at the moment, because it's so easy to get the message, and then it's like, okay, I need to deal with this, and this is just me, you know what I mean? But you are also the collective. So the more, and you're in a very favorable position to do this, because of the way you are showing up. You are sharing your light. So you want to make sure that you're not a part of you is playing human. Just allow all of it to become this higher vibrational version of yourself. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. It really resonates deeply.
We're so worried in the mind. We're so worried about all these different things. There's so many things, right? But really simplifying it and boiling it down to, it really is all about vibration and frequency. That is how we access new earth. That is how we access a new dimensional frequency and bandwidth, where the things we've been fighting, the things we've been struggling with, does not exist. It can simply not be in the same frequency, bandwidth, or dimension.
I'm getting the visual that we have to leave our baggage on the doorstep. Yes, we can't take our baggage into New Earth. And so just feeling that frequency as you were sharing that message, I get it. And I trust that we all get it. And we are very aware of our energy and our frequency. And basically, I can sense that New Earth is here when we are in that frequency. And when we take a look at the collective, or my goodness, the news, that will drop us out of the frequency. So it really is, it's almost, I feel it like it's two things. New Earth is already here, but we can flip out of it by being distracted.
Yes.
So that was very helpful. Thank you.
Well, there's a side note coming up here too, is that because the new age relationships are shifting and changing too, where it was much more a feminine, masculine, or whatever, more romanticized outlook in the past. It's like fitting in, finding the perfect fit or the best fit. So, where now it's the emotional consciousness, the currency, it is the currency of the new earth, right? New age. So when we see the light in someone else, it's not being driven from lust or from sexual attraction, not meaning that couldn't be a sacred outcome later on, but it's really like all relationship is going through a transformation right now, where we see the light in others, then we see a reflection of ourselves as well. So somebody who is actually doing what they feel like is right for them to do and following their divine path, and you recognize that in somebody else, it's so pure and it's so beautiful, and it's like a magnet. So it activates something within you as well, if you are on that path for the most part, you know what I mean? So it encourages you to be yourself even more, and when you see that reflection in someone else, it just magnifies into the field and brings telepathically and energetically a energetic presence of pure heart consciousness, because we all coming from the same light. We can call it God consciousness, we can call it source consciousness, we can call it Christ consciousness. It's the same source energy we are created from, the sacred geometry of the universe, the creator of all things. So we are individual expressions of the divines having a human experience, right? So when we meet others who is either self-realized or partly self-realized, or doing the best, to our ability, then we recognize that light in them as well. So allowing yourself not to be discouraged by the mind and the belief that, or the fear of the being judged from the outside, or believing that everybody else is on a different bandwidth than you are. We have to shift into actually seeing and believing, and that's why it's so helpful when we meet somebody who's actually realized there's not holding those frequencies of separation. Then there's just a timeless understanding and connection and recognition and honor and respect. That's just so pure. So coming back to the new age relationships, we want to look at every relationship like that moving forward, because it's like by you nurturing that from within and you seeing that light in others, then you allow the light within you to grow stronger as well. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's really important on how we show up in every moment to every person in our field, in our reality. Yeah, very cool. Okay. Zoom audience, this is your time to ask your question. If you have a question, you can raise your hand or you can put it in our Q&A box. So here is a question from Linda.
Hey, Linda.
How might I assist my physical vessel to hold, maintain, and expand more light, frequency, and vibration? I wish to put it into creative expression and into that which is the highest good for all in the ascension process.
Awesome. I'm just asking your higher self permission to energy melt and connect with your higher self, Linda. And I'm getting a yes. Thank you. Just tuning into the frequencies here. So first and foremost, there's routines, there's habits, of course, and it really comes down to what we consume as well. It's a very crucial part of where we learn, not just through eating, but that is what I'm really picking up on. The water we drink, is the fluoride in it, so forth? Is it clean water? Is it organic food? And fruit, any high vibrational foods will assist. So it doesn't mean that you have to eat it all the time, but like just introduce even more of it. And then also getting into nature more is really, really important, because that is a sacred place to connect and retune yourself and alchemize the frequencies within. but also release, because you connect in the unified field. Gaia is already ascended. If we don't overthink that, we just feel it vibrationally, because of course we can look in the earth and like, oh, this is going on, but the core vibration, the reason why all these eruptions are happening here and there, and the weather pattern and so forth, is because the energy is just, it's moving. It's just kind of like recalibrating itself. So getting into nature really assists us with, recalibrate ourselves and allow ourselves to receive these highest, newest frequencies and downloads, and connect in that quantum field, because then we are trusting and we're giving away whatever is outdated within the system. This is really important, and allowing space for new things to come in. But also coming back, of course, the food is a really important part, but also what we allow to come into our field. Don't watch the news, shut down on that. Especially, I mean, if you feel something within, there's a red flag coming up, and you feel like this is probably not for my highest good, then it's your responsibility to stand up for you, and then either separate yourself, leave the room, excuse yourself, or just turn it off, or change the subject or the channel or whatever, because the duality in the collective right now, in the 3D reality is just so chaotic at the moment, and it's so loud, and it's trying to trigger everything that's triggerable. So really kind of pull back from that, spend some more time in solitude. I'm feeling here. Just see if there's anything else for your physical body. So sunlight is one of them, but it's really not about the sunlight necessarily. It's more of a light in general. So shifting your consciousness, shifting your perception of who you are, what you deserve, is a big blocker right now, I can tell. So you're not a victim. You're not, it does not have to be, so it's more like shifting that mindset, that something is happening to you. When we feel our body react certain ways, it's because it's recalibrating itself. So these codes coming in are making shifts within the body, and it will heal and clear as fast as we allow it to. So becoming the driver of your bus, so to speak, and taking responsibility for your journey and your vibration and your frequency and your dialogue, most importantly inside. That is the key because that's how you communicate with the cells in your body. That's what you tell your body, this is who I am. So if we're speaking ill about ourselves, or talking down, or talking negatively, or being hard on ourselves, anything like that, then the body will take that on as this is who I am. So we want to shift that, we want to clear that. And that's really where the biggest transformation will happen. That language, the belief systems that's feeding it, more importantly, so as we shift the language, then we will start shifting our consciousness, but we will start to look for something that's a better fit, something that's more conscious, something that's actually benefiting our light body. Again, coming back to that. Does that make sense? I know you probably can't answer me here, but that's what's coming through. If you have any specific question of anything specific, like a foot or a hand, or I can feel with the bones that there's this soreness with the bones going on right now, because they're going crystallized. So there's crystallization happening. So the DNA activations, it will feel like then right foot, left foot, right hand, left hand, it could, or other body parts, it could be neck, skull, who knows. It's going through, it's not hitting everything at once, because that would just overload the system. So the more you can be in non-resistance to that, and know that this is a critical and important part of the changeover, of the shift, of the recalibration, of the activation and the download, and the allowing that you are partaking in, then it's not creating any linear time constructs or timelines that needs to play out based on the past. And you will be able to clear, when you clear the energy, then you will physically, you will feel the shift almost instantaneously. I hope that's helpful.
Yes, and Linda, if you have follow-up questions, you can unmute yourself and you can ask other questions. So if we don't hear from Linda, then that was good and well received. Awesome.
Something is good
Okay.
question.
Anyone else, if you have a question, this is it. You have a channel with Peter Hansen and Archangel Gabriel. Please ask your questions. All right, Peter, we have an event coming up with you
Yes.
in a day or so, which is quite beautiful. This is being divinely guided. Let's talk a little bit about this because really what we're talking about is getting out of our own way and allowing this guidance to come through. So, how do we allow for divine guidance to come through?
Well, that's what we're going to be focusing on, and really, there's so many, aspect of that we want to kind of target or enlighten or shine light on. It really comes down to we are reinventing ourselves. We are outgrowing who we used to be, so coming into a new vessel, so to speak, where higher strands of DNA is activated. So navigating our way through that is the key for learning how to listen and allowing these divine messages to come through, because it's like our senses, all our clairs will become stronger than they ever were before, telepathically connecting with the unity consciousness, but also our guides, our angels, embodying all those aspects as well, and allowing that clarity, that transparency, clearing any division, any separation from that. So that's also a part of embodying our angelics, our galactic, our ascended master self, our avatar self, our higher self. So all the aspects that we didn't identify with before, we kind of communicated with on the outside. We are bringing all that in and activating that and creating a new solid foundation and communication within that and operating system. And then as we vibrate higher, we then gain access to that divine blueprint that we didn't have access to before. So then allowing us to then receive these messages instantly is really, really key here. So that's what we're going to be focusing on, and how we communicate and with relationships too, but also living in a world where nothing is by chance. So really enhance our perception of what's available to us, shift into a frequency bandwidth where we look at everything as opportunity for growth, as a blessing, observing ourselves and seeing everything that comes at us, every experience as something that's going to benefit us. Because then we're shifting the frequency. We are looking for expansion. We are looking for light. We are looking for love in everything. And then that's the vibration we send out. And then we allow ourselves to be a magnet, and allow all these messages, but also all these aspects that might be separate from us at first, but then allow all those aspects to reconnect with us so we can embody those aspects. So that is that higher communication as well, because the parts we've been communicating with on the outside, we are going to embody it. We're going to reach a frequency and a bandwidth and a consciousness where we become one with it. So then we are living example of it. And there will be phases where we see that with light workers, going through a very angelic phase, let's say. You can just tell the vibration, you can tell the frequency, you can tell the communication that's coming through, the pace, all of it, how that signifies and how that feels. And when that phase or stage is completed or fully embodied, then one might choose to do a galactic aspects or ascended master aspect, and you will feel that coming through. So it will feel different. It could be a little more serious if it's Syrian, Arcturian, whatever it is, it could be dragon, it could be fairies, it could be unicorn, it could be mermaids, it could be all the elementals, like there's so many aspects that we allow to, in this process, we're allowing ourselves to then reconnect with and allow assistance to be received from those aspects till we reach that point where we can embody all of it. Because the entire universe, if something is out there that we have knowledge of or stories about or fairy tales about, it means that we placed it there. So it's kind of like breadcrumbs. So really focusing on anything that's of the light, focus on anything that feels like this is benefiting the new. So that's a new language to speak and engage with. And it's not necessarily verbal, it can be, but mostly it's actually telepathically, right? So it's connecting and it's our thoughts. So it's that internal dialogue also. It's like it's becoming unified. So we are not like, oh, now I'm talking to my human mind. Now I'm talking to like it's actually the divine masculine, divine feminine are being fully activated within and embodied. So we're allowing the higher strands of DNAs to be activated and experienced and experiencing what that feels like in a body that's vibrating and able to hold that higher frequency. So that's a little bit of a breakdown, but there's so much more we're going to tap into there.
Yes, beautiful. All right. And so we will drop the link so that people can look at that event coming up. And we look forward to seeing everyone in there. That would be so beautiful. So good. I would like to ask a question. This is from Alyssa. Hi, Alyssa.
Alyssa.
Alyssa says, blessings.
Thank
How
you.
may I assist myself and the collective through the use of my website and creating more on the internet for the collective at this time? And yes, you have her permission.
Thank you. I'm just going to bring in the Legion of Angels. I'm asking them to remove any wandering spirits, anything that's not of the light from your energy field, your home, your website, our upcoming website. Let's claim the space. Gently and slowly energy melding with you. So the first and foremost message coming through here is share your vibration. So you're asking how can you utilize or create or gain the highest benefit from your website. I seen your videos, I worked with you, I spoke to you, we're friends, you know, I know your frequency. So when you're doing your work and you are letting go fully, then you are transmitting a frequency and a consciousness that's very pure and very beautiful. So you want to make sure that you have some videos or snippets of those videos online, having ways for people to connect with your frequency. It's like kind of like language. I know you do that too, so you could do that as well, little video snips, you know. But really, like it's in the whatever text you're using on the website as well. Allow it to come from up high, you know, mostly, because it's the light language, is the purity of your heart. So don't think about what other people need necessarily, because that's the mind thinking. Thinking about what is your strengths, what do you have to offer, because you are unique. Nobody else can do what you do. So you have a special sacred geometry within you. You have special strands of DNA. You have specific codes, and your heart is holding some pure frequencies that nobody else is holding. So you want to kind of allow that to be reflected. I know it sounds a little ego-minded, but it's really just, it won't come off that way. Just know that. It's really like allowing yourself to be your own cheerleader a little bit, you know, really allow yourself to speak highly of yourself. That is the key here. Not only will this benefit whoever is receiving it, but it will also benefit you to not only maintain that state, but also embody that further and further. So that's why it's so important not necessarily look at the good and the bad and it's like, okay, this is what I got, you know, kind of thing, but look at the best parts, you know, bring the purest part through, because that's the part you're proud of, you know. So really allow those parts to shine, allow those parts to be shared. And again, not competing with anyone. So that's really helpful when you put your material together. Nobody can do what you do. So really own that, embody that. So I'm not sure if there's any other parts to that question I missed, but I feel like that is the general message that's coming through here, is really the frequency and just the remembrance that nobody can do it the way you do it, and nobody is supposed to do it the way you do it. You know what I mean? And again, they're not capable of doing it your way anyway. So there's no need to be fearful of comparing yourself to anyone else. And that just keeps things so pure and so simple. And then it's so much easier to navigate, because then there's not this mind chatter going on. It's like constantly of, oh, did I do what? Did I do that right? Did I do this? You know what I mean? Like, no, it's like you did exactly what needed to come through at that point. You know what I mean? Organically, most importantly. And it will grow. And this is another little tidbit here, is like, as you grow, your website and your presence online and social media and other places will also go through transitions, like I was talked about earlier, not in this question, but when I was just sharing about how we embody different aspects of ourselves. So whatever you put down now, 6 months from now, 3 months from now, you might have outgrown that and you might want to update it a little bit. So that's a continual organic activation, you know, that continuously you same with your boundaries as well. It's like we share different things, you know, there's different things it's most important to you now than it was when you created it, if that makes sense. I hope that was
Thank you for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
But I'm excited for you. I'm really excited that you're going to get a website, because you have a lot to share. So that will give you a home base that you can just funnel everything to, you know, people can find out, oh, who is this person, you know? So that's why it's also so important that you put some reviews on there. You put everything you got, you know what I mean? Not everything you got, but what you feel guided to put on there, that's vibrational representation of who you are and what you got, you know?
Yes. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me, Peter?
I can hear you.
Okay, good, good. I had to join by my phone. I got bounced off.
What?
But I know it's interesting. And so this is again what we were talking about. I do
Well,
just want to share that Alyssa did say, yes, updating it. That is wonderful. So she loves it. And it's actually good information for all of us, because
yes.
as you were sharing, it's our energetics that go out, and actually if we haven't updated things, then our energetics the energetics are being updated as we're updating every day. And so when we update our website with testimonials and sharing experiences of other people, that updates the energy. And I think it allows more people to find us. So that's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, and also like we talked about with you, like sometimes we need to release some stuff. There might be a page on there that's not really in alignment with who you are now, then drop it, you know, a product or something, you know what I mean? It allows
Yes.
new doors to open. And it's funny you mentioned you got dropped off the panel, because
Right.
yesterday my phone was on SOS all day. So meaning that when I was outside the house, didn't have Wi-Fi, my apps didn't work, I didn't have internet access. It was not till last night. I thought everybody had it, but it was just me apparently. So then I rebooted my phone last night and then it came back on. But it's like constantly, and like Tuesday you mentioned, you know, it's like there's just things happening. I had an experience actually Tuesday too, I think it was, but I got an email that was apparently from last year, and then it was gone. And right now I'm getting an echo. Is your microphone on?
That's because Zoom automatically re-entered me.
Oh,
And so I had my phone, and that was the feedback. So again, this is a lesson in how we navigate everything that happens. Um, I mean, if this were to have happened to me last year or even 6 months ago, I probably would have been really flustered. But
mm.
we can't get flustered, you know? And so we just deal with it and show up in the best way that we can. And I love what you said about like releasing things, releasing old beliefs, or releasing products and things on the website. Very, very interesting. Or maybe even speakers on the website. That's what's really interesting. And just flowing in the new energies. So
Yes.
Let's talk about the new energies as we prepare to end our call. The question that I have, oh, let me see if there's any other questions. Or Alyssa says, this is the magic of the internet. Magic of the
Absolutely.
internet. And I've often said that it feels like the internet is fifth dimensional in ways, because the way that our guides can work through the internet in connecting us to people. And
Yeah.
so it absolutely does make sense that we have to update all the time. And the rule of thumb for the internet is every 2 years, you should update your website. I'm past due on that. But now it makes more sense that with the new energies coming in, we have to tweak it all the time so that it's the energy of our website matches our energy. We know that this happens with our equipment. Like you were saying, you had to reboot your phone. When we reboot our phone, it's actually getting its energetic upgrade right there.
Well,
So
that and our vocabulary is also shifting and changing. So who you represented yourself at as in the past might not be true anymore. It's kind of streamlining everything. And like you said, there could be ties, there could be connections to something or somebody that's not a vibrational match any longer. You know what I mean? So then letting that go and allow, give it back to the universe, so to speak, or put it somewhere else, put it on YouTube, whatever, like there's many ways of kind of like recycling it or giving it like an offering, thinking about it that way, you know what I mean? Like, so then we also, there is a gift going on. So then we also allowing ourselves to receive, not with having any agenda or intention of that, but it's simply like it will be reflected back. You know what I mean? You're making room, you're allowing, new stuff to be communicated to you because you're not holding on to all the old one anymore. It's like your clipboard is full, right?
yes, absolutely. I love that. The clipboard is full, people. Okay, so all right, as we invite everyone to check out the upcoming event that we have with Peter and Archangel Gabriel, Being Divinely Guided. This is a 2-hour event where we go into all of your questions, and then of course there's higher information brought forth on being divinely guided. So please check that out and join us. We are excited for you to be there with us. Now, I wanted to say, as one of the last questions, I don't see any other questions at the moment, but I have a question because here we are with the new energies. We have solar flares. We have cosmic energies coming in. We have earth energies coming in. We have the dragons coming in. And can you share with us how do we identify these energies, whether they're energies, we don't have to identify where they're coming from per se. How do we know when we're being affected by energies, and how can we move through them in the most efficient way?
That's a good question. The more in tune we come with energy in itself, we will learn the nuances. So when we reach a state where we are supposed to be able to navigate it, then we have activated enough consciousness within us to feel the difference. Like we talked about earlier, like everything is vibration and frequency. So like if one is channeling angelic, and it could be the same person in one part of their life that's very angelic, let's say, and then they go into other aspects, so there's a different frequency, there's different consciousness that might be at the forefront because that's the grid of the work at the moment, or let's say. So that brings us back to the individual. When we get exposed to these higher frequency, like entering the field, it's like even knowing about the dragon's energies, and it is the year of the dragon, and we have so many activations happening, many of us are lovingly and willingly reconnecting with our dragon aspects, what I mean, allowing the dragons of light to assist us and work through us and with us. So then it's let's just talk about the dragons. It's like holding all the elements and mastering all the elements. It's the feeling behind it, that completeness. You can feel that very strong, and it will feel uniquely to each one. So it's more of like asking questions too. Who am I connecting with? If you're not sure already, so partake in the communication. But you are inviting it in, and it wouldn't be coming to you unless you were already etherically was asking for it, telepathically curious about it. So it's more of a getting past the mind, or the barriers of the mind, the logic, the linear, the reason, reason, what do you call it? Need to reason everything, you know what I mean? Like it's not for the human mind to comprehend. It's like we have to let go of that. We have to shift all our consciousness from the mind into the heart space. And that is where we reconnect with these magical realms, and allowing those communications to come through and reconnect with us and assist us as well. So that's the best way. Ask, but also communicate, and then observe yourself, because again, it's like it wouldn't come into your attention unless you actually were supposed to be experiencing it right now. So it's more of a, don't keep asking the same question. It's like, is this it, who it is? And then start doubting it, because the mind didn't get a foot in, you know what I mean? So it's like really learning to trust the initial feeling, or the initial message, or the initial label, if you want a name, that showed up. And that will take a little bit of a trial and error, to get to that point. So that will assist you with fine tuning that, and then be able to feel if this is more galactic or angelic or dragon-like frequency and magic. And also allowing yourself to kind of visualize the frequency you're feeling, because then it will support you with pictures of that as well. Is that helpful?
Yes, thank you for that. Very helpful. Thank you. Okay, question from Linda.
Yes.
Linda says, another question, there is so much presenting itself to me that I'm a bit overwhelmed as how to step forward in the public eye. Can I send this beautiful energy out into the universe to help with the evolutionary process, for the ascension process, until my stepping forth comes to be?
Can you? Okay, that's a good question. Let me just tune in here. You can, but the answer I'm getting for you is that don't worry so much about that. The more you can focus that energy on you, just continue to build your light. And so you're not giving that energy away, because it doesn't have to go anywhere. It really is supposed to be fueling you and your ascension and your embodiment process. And the more you do that, funnel that energy back in, is like the torque field, like it just goes stronger and stronger, because it doesn't drain out anyway. So then automatically your presence through your being and through your communication will be reflecting that. So it's really, we can overanalyze that as, you know what I mean, to exhaust ourselves in finding ways that we could be of service. You know what I mean? Really, the grandest service you can be is you being in the highest vibration possible. So the daily regiments you do, the daily routines, the importance, the prioritizing of your light on a daily basis, that is the key. So not worrying so much on the outside, because the outside will be reflecting what's going on the inside, So that is kind of like, that's what we can get tripped up on. Does that make sense?
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Thank you so much. I want to say that what you said there, prioritizing your light daily, is worthy of a sticky note. We are writing sticky notes, and that is worthy of something that needs to be present on our minds every day. Prioritizing our light.
And also, I just want to jump in here, because today is a prime example of the unexpected. Expect the unexpected. It's like we were supposed to do this Tuesday, and of course, been advertising about it, so forth, but the universe have ways of just shaking things up. Not only that, but also we are transitioning. So each present moment in the quantum field, things shift, you know what I mean? So the more we can release our beliefs in things to be a certain way, the easier we will then organically navigate that, and things become so much easier. So it doesn't matter if there's 5 people here, if there's 5 million people here. It's like Do you see what I'm saying? It's like really like it's the way it's supposed to be. And if we're showing up fully regardless, organically, all the time, purely, then that's all we have to do. And it comes back to that prioritizing, like you mentioned, um, really showing up fully from the depths of our hearts, and also seeing the light in others, meaning that I see that, a version of me and you and in Linda and in Alyssa and everybody else who's watching, you know what I mean? So then it's a coming together. It's like this is a beautiful reunion, so to speak. It's a beautiful reactivation and camaraderie, friendship, light, joining. You know what I mean? So we're playing in that field, and that's really, really beautiful. But most importantly, like, expect the unexpected, because there will be many things that will be shifting, and the ones who are able to keep their cool, so to speak, during those storms, that's the one who's going to fare well, and that's the one who's actually going to keep everybody else safe or sane. You know what I mean? So that is, again, that's going to be even become more and more important moving forward as the old is collapsing. There will be many opportunities for that, where our calmness, our pureness, our frequency, our commitment to self, that will assist the collective field when it's going through that transition. It already is. So
Beautiful. Yes, I love it. And so for all those who are going to watch this later, they can tune in, right, and get that same frequency, and the message gets to them just like if people were here on it live. So it's wonderful. And I think it's really important not to judge anything. And as we said, we have to leave our baggage for new earth at the doorstep. So it's just really wise words for all of us, and a great remembrance. So thank you for this. I wanted to also mention that you offer personal sessions for people, and this is ways that you show up for the best way that you can for your clients. And those personal sessions, they're on the link in the box that I dropped the link into, and you can check it out. There's also a bundle of Peter's webinars from the past with infinite wisdom, timeless wisdom that you can enjoy, and you're always going to be uplifted from that. So Peter, do you want to share anything about personal sessions with you, or any of those courses and ways that people can work with it?
Absolutely. Like with the courses, they're already pre-recorded courses we've done in the past. It's really like looking through it, and if there's any that if it's the heart consciousness, or if it's whatever subject we are expanding on in that specific one, if it's feel like that's a draw to you, that's an activation that would benefit you. So but that's really with everything, not just my courses. It's like everything in life is like navigating life that way, that frequency bandwidth, allowing the heart to navigate and guide you through every decision and every interaction and communication you do and make. About the sessions, really I'm tuning into where people are at the moment, and everybody is in a different place, obviously. So it's really about finding whatever is holding one back, and provide guidance and assistance, and also connecting with the higher self aspects. I found that really, really kind of realigning and clearing out any debris or any blockages in the field. So kind of like hitting the fast track. That's a good way of putting it, I think, and what I've been hearing from clients, the feedback as well, is really getting back to this, what's important, because there's so many things to navigate at the moment. So having somebody who can see it unbiased, and from a higher perspective, that allows one to continuously go in the direction that benefits the most, and then delivering it in a way that's not offensive or telling you what to do necessarily, but kind of like explaining why, and explaining the benefits of it, and also explaining the different scenarios that could play out because of that, and then allowing higher wisdom to come through to benefit that. and activating those aspects in the individual. And that's really the key here, because I've been through a lot of many things, like any other light worker. So sharing that wisdom, but also allowing the access to your divine blueprint, it really, really helps just accelerate things and just find calmness. And also with the energy healings and clearings, as I do that as part of the session a lot of times, really helps calibrating the light body, because the logical mind can only handle so much. It's important that the light body is also in a vibrational alignment with the information that's coming in too. And that gives the mind as well, during the session, a break where it just releases any control and relaxes and surrender. And that allows for that activation and synergy just to take place. The allowance, most importantly. So I highly recommend that. I know this offer, is I think it is discounted, and but it also includes the workshop as well. So it's like a good deal if that's what you're looking for, and also like introduction to my work, but also like spoiling yourself a little bit, doing something special for you. It does not always have to be something major, you know what I mean? I mean, this will in its own right, but it's like we want to take good care of ourselves. We want to spoil ourselves a little bit. So look at it that way too, because you're creating a new relationship with you. So you want to treat yourself as beautifully as possible. So this is one way of doing that. But of course, going into nature, taking yourself out to lunch or something like that, or retreat, something like that will really, really nurture and then also make you feel like you are important again, because you are the most important part in this universe, your universe. It's just like we have to reactivate that, and I can assist with that, but there's many others that can as well. So I would love to be the one. If not, then there's many other ways. Anyhow, I hope that was helpful, and I hope you can make it. I know a lot of people already signed up for the workshop, which is also was supposed to be end of July, I think, or sometime in July, and then we had to reschedule it because I got sick.
I know and we go with the flow.
Right,
And
exactly.
yeah. And it's all good. It's all in divine order. What I've learned is that when we go with the flow like that, magic happens.
It
Like
does.
there's a reason why. Then we're able to see in hindsight, which is 2020, we're able to see, oh, we had to do it because of the energies of this day or whatever. I mean, it's really fascinating. So this is where we are our top priority. We don't beat up on ourselves, and we invest in ourselves, and we nurture ourselves, and we treat ourselves. So thank you, Peter. The personal sessions with you is one way that people can treat themselves. It is like it is like a spa day for your psyche. It
Yes.
really is. As we see comments coming in, love and blessings. Thank you so much. This has been so heart expanding. I feel joyful beyond words. And thank you so much. Lots of love. Sandra, thank you. Alyssa James says, we are so blessed. Thank you. This is a beautiful and amazing call. It brought me home to my heart and soul. That is so wonderful. And we've always said this, Peter, if all we do is bring people into their hearts and connect them to their higher self, we have done our job. And so I just want to say a session with Peter will absolutely bring you into alignment. It will even activate your light body that you can feel, so you can make decisions that are right for you. Peter is a great facilitator of this, and we invite you to check out his sessions. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Any final thoughts as we say goodbye?
Um, only thing I want to say is that our bodies is gonna feel tired at certain times. We're gonna feel exhausted at times. We're gonna feel all over the place sometimes. But that's all a part of this process that we're going through right now. So go easy on yourself. And again, take care of yourself to the best of your ability, because the one that matters the most at the moment, of course, there's loved ones around us as well. But really, like, we want to put your own mask on first. You need to do that. So you need to take care of you first. That is the biggest service you can do in this ascension process. So I want to leave you with that. Coming back to the core, like you are the example of what you're preaching and walking and talking, you know what I mean? So you want to make sure that you are as aligned and taking care of you as much as possible.
Beautiful, and beautiful work that you're doing on the planet, supporting light workers all across the world. And light workers, we thank you too for showing up in your light, because your love matters so much in such incredible ways. And so from this episode today, our vibration is raised, our frequency has raised, and that, Peter, has assisted in a shift on the planet. Thank you so much for this. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being so flexible. Love you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Peter. Enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.
Namaste. Satnam.
Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Access information, education, and videos on living from the heart in unity consciousness. Visit newearth1.com.